we are going to dive into 5.15, which is function operations. Okay, so everything in here is going to be in function notation. So f of x, g of x, and so forth. You're going to see some funky notation in here, okay, which is going to be function notation. And so it's going to say, how do you define the sum of f plus g? So when you see this, they're just saying we're going to add two functions together. Okay, in this case, f and g. Well, f of x is 3x plus 4, and g of x equals x squared plus 5x plus 2. And I'm actually going to underline that with green here. Okay, so what's the sum of those two functions? So I say f plus g right here is going to be equal to, we're going to take our function f first. Okay, so f is this 3x plus 4. So we take 3x plus 4. And then since it's addition, we're just going to add that to, and addition is nothing particularly restrictive about that. We just get to add, right? You need to keep that black. Plus, we're going to add on to that my function g, which is x squared minus 5x plus 2. Okay. Now, nothing in addition says we have to distribute anything or do anything special, so we can just drop those parentheses and add and combine all of our like terms. So we have this x squared, oh gosh, I keep trying to change my colors here, x squared, and then 3x plus negative 5x gives me negative 2x, and then 4 plus 2 gives me a 6. And so my f plus g equals x squared minus 2x plus 6. It's a quadratic, okay? And so that's how you add two functions together, all right? So notice down here it says defining a function also includes defining its domain. The domain of f plus or minus g is the intersection of the domains of f and g. So in other words, the domain up here is just a line, so it's all real numbers. My domain of a parabola here, this quadratic function, is all real numbers. So the resulting domain of this function would be also all real numbers because they're both all real numbers. Okay. So here, let's look at subtracting now these two functions. Okay. So now we have our function f is 3x plus 4. So we're taking the exact same functions. This time we're going to subtract them, okay? So we're going to take f minus g. So we're going to take our function f and we're going to subtract our function g. So this time, because it's subtraction, we have to do something a little bit different, right? Because subtraction is always a little bit different. So we take our function f up here, which is 3x plus 4. Take that guy and we're going to subtract, and this time instead of black, I'm going to use red because that always says, hey, watch out, we need to do something with that. And we're going to subtract x squared minus 5x plus 2. Okay, so remember when that negative's there means that negative has to distribute to every single term, not just the first term. So you need to watch out for that. Okay, so that's going to be equal to 3x plus 4, and that's going to become negative x squared plus 5x now, and minus 2. Okay. Now we can combine all those terms. So we have a negative x squared. 3x plus 5x now this time is going to be a positive 8x. And then a positive 4, negative 2 is a plus 2. And that's my f minus g. And there is your function. And again, the domains of both of these are still a line and it's still a parabola, so it's still going to be all real numbers. Okay? So now let's take a look here. You can do a try it and do an addition here and see how you do. Right, if you would like to come back. So in this case here, we're going to take our function g, which is 3 minus 2x. We're going to add to that our 2x squared plus 7x minus 1. And we're just adding those numbers together, those terms together. So it's going to be just 2x squared. A negative 2x and a positive 7x is a positive 5x. And then a 3 minus 1 is going to be a positive 2. And then there you go. Right? How about f minus g? So let's look at that one. We have our f minus g is going to be 2x squared plus 7x minus 1. This time we're going to subtract our g, which is 3 minus 2x. Okay, so be careful with that one. So you have 2x squared plus 7x minus 1, and then minus 3 plus 2x. Distribute this negative through this parenthesis. Okay, so you have 2x squared, my equal sign here, And 7x and 2x gives you a positive 9x. And -1 and -3 gives me a -4. And that's my f minus g, is this guy. Okay. Okay, so now let's take a look at here. The demand D in units sold for a company's new brand of cell phone at price X in dollars is right here. So this is my demand function, 5,000 minus 10 times the price. What is the company's expected revenue from the cell phones in terms of the price X? So my price equals P of X, which is X. Okay, my domain should be 0 is less than X. So my price can't be negative, right? That's my domain. My demand is 5,000 minus 10,000 X, which is demand cannot exceed 5,000, right? And so if you kind of figure out that domain there, and my revenue is going to equal my price times my demand. So whatever my demand is times what the price is going to be. So P of X times D of X. And if we take those two and multiply them together, we're just going to take our X up there, our X, and multiply that by our demand, which is 5,000 minus 10x. Okay, and that should give us 5,000x. Oops, 5,000x, there we go, minus 10x squared. And that is our function right there. Okay, now notice right here that x has to be less than 500, and here x has to be greater than 0. So this is my combined domain. It has to be between 0 and 500 is my combined domain, okay, of the two functions. So that's when I put those two domains together, okay? So right here, so suppose my demand for a company's product at price X is predicted by the function here, that's my demand, and the price P of the company can charge for the product is given by this one, by this price function. Find the company's revenue. So remember, my revenue is P of X times D of X. So I'm just going to take my X plus 16, and we're going to multiply it by negative 0.25 X squared plus 1,000. Okay, so now I've got kind of a binomial situation here. So I'm going to go X times this guy, so it's going to be negative 0.25 X cubed, and then X times this guy, so plus 1,000X. And then this guy right here, so that's going to be negative 4, so 1/4 of 16, x squared, and then times plus 16,000. Can't write that there. We can just write this in proper form, so negative 0.25 x cubed minus 4x squared plus 1,000 x plus 16,000. And that's the company's revenue function. I guess I should write that as my revenue function of x, okay? All right, so one more thing to look at now is dividing function. So this is the only one where the domain gets funky, right? Because we can't divide by 0. Okay, so we take our function f, x minus 7, and divide it by this function, 2x squared minus 13, x minus 7, okay? Now that's my f minus g, f divided by g. But what's my domain? Well, first we have to take this little function right here. Let's see if we can factor that. So negative, we have 2 times negative 7, so that's negative 14. So factors of negative 14 that add up to negative 13 would be negative 14 and 1, right? So we're going to go 2x squared minus 14x plus 1x minus 7. Let's group those, and we'll factor out a 2x. Leaves me with an x minus 7. We'll just factor out a 1 is all, leaving with an x minus 7. So you have x minus 7 times 2x plus 1. Okay, so if I'm going to rewrite this function, it's going to be x minus 7 over x minus 7 times 2x plus 1. Okay, well, so first of all, both of these guys, right, x cannot equal 7, and x cannot equal negative 1/2. Negative 1/2. If I set that equal to 0, that would be negative 1/2. It cannot equal to 1/2. That will cancel out, and that's going to give me a total. My final function, f over g. Why is that blue? I don't know. F over g is going to equal just 1 over 2x plus 1. Bada boom, bada bang. But my x cannot be equal to 7, or x cannot equal to -1/2 either. Okay, that's part of my domain. All right, nothing up here. So this is a line, so that's going to be just all real numbers. This one is all real numbers here. However, when you divide them, they have some domain restrictions there. Okay, watch out for that. You guys try to do this one. Go ahead and do this function f divided by g and see how you do. So I take my x squared minus 3x minus 18 divided by x plus 3. That's my f over g. And does that factor? Factors of -18 that add up to -3. Well, that's going to be x minus 6, x plus 3, right? And then, oh, that should be x plus 3, sorry, x plus 3. So right here, x cannot be equal to -3. Okay, so my f over g is going to equal, that will cancel out, going to equal to x minus 6, but it cannot equal to -3, right? And so there you have it. Okay, so that is all our functions so far with function operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay, and then we're going to do more with composition functions next on Thursday. Okay, so right now you have a oh gosh, this is a 5.5 Excel in Google Classroom, and then I will see you all in class. All right, have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.